We have seen yesterday, right? What is single dropdown and multi dropdown. So I'm creating a package. The name of drop. Okay, inside this, I'm creating a. Need to have the main method. Control Shift F is the shortcut where it is going to be format. Okay, and this is my Facebook, and here I can show you. Then create account. Click on this create account. You'll find this drop down. Work on this December month. Drop down. Okay, for that we need to be click on new account. So inspect now here. Inspect it to click on create a new account. So do we have any ID we have? So take this ID to click on the create new account. Ever dot find element. Just we want it to be get this drop down XPath or ID, whatever it is. So let's see if we have anything. We have ID of month. Ever dot element by dot. So I'm storing this into this web element. I'm not doing any operation on here. I'm giving meaningful variable name, that is month. So it is a web element and stored into this month variable, and it is driver dot find element by ID. So now to work on these drop downs, I'll say select drop. So I'm giving, here I'm creating a object for the class. To use this inside the select class methods. To use the inside the select class methods. Select is a class, it is a variable, and new is a keyword, and select is another again it is a class. I created a object here. It is giving an error because argument is required. Argument is required. The argument is web element. The argument is web element because it is having the constructor. It is having the constructor. So the constructor passing this web element. You need to pass the web element. So one object as object will work on one drop down. Individual every drop down you need to be create your object, or otherwise you need to be change your web element. So this constructor required this web element. This is on my web element, and I'm passing here this web element. You may think like you need to be passed into this, the web element directly. Also, you can write driver dot find element by ID or month, whatever you can write here. You can also write directly here this. So it's getting more lengthy, right? More lengthy, right? That is the reason. What I done, I used the variable because as I stored into this web element, I am using this variable to be getting started or to look into into the code. All right. So I have this web element, the month web element into the select class variable, right? And now I can do whatever I can perform on this particular drop down. Here we have multiple methods. It's all select class methods. Select So we have deselect all and deselect by index, deselect by value, deselect by visible text. Equals is a object class method, and get all selected options. It's going to be list. It's going to be return the list of web element. Get class is a object class method. Again, it is get first selected option. Get options. It is also returns this list of web element. Get wrapped element. So it's all select class method. Is multiple is another method which is going to be used for this, whether it is multiple drop down or not. And these are all the methods. So select by index, select by value, select by visible text. So when it comes to this, multi drop down, as I said, like, if you have a multiple option, in a sense, multiple option selection you have, then you can do this deselect. If it is single drop down, kind of this month or year or date, so you can select only. Select by index, select by value, select by visible text. You cannot deselect it. You don't have an option to deselect it. But you have an option to select whether it is, find out whether it is a multi drop down or single drop down. So it is going to be written the true or false. Multiple is multiple. So is multiple. What it is going to be written? It's a boolean value. Boolean value. It's a select class method. Returns this boolean value. Let's see whether it is going to be written this is multiple or not. So if it is returns this boolean value, what we need to do? Boolean variable we need to take, and we need to give a one variable here, like drop. So boolean drop. It's going to be give you this true or false. If it is multi-select drop-down, it returns this true, or otherwise it returns the false. It is we know that it is a single drop-down. Then what else we can do on this particular drop-down? Drop-down dot. So since it is in a single drop-down, you can select the value by select by. See here, for selecting three options you have. One is by index, one is value, another one is visible. Also see with the three methods. So deselect is not possible. Deselect is not possible with a single drop down. Single drop down. Okay. Select by index I'll give. The index is 2. To give single quotes or double quotes inside this parameter. Wait 2 seconds. Okay. So what I'll do, again I'll drop down dot select value. And this value here, see, it is an value, right? And index also starts from the 0 and 1, 2, 3, 4. The value also they have given with a 0 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So value, what I'll take, this 7 I'll take. 7 is July. When you are passing this value, you need to be passed into the string format. String format 7. And another one again, drop down dot visible text. So visible text is, what is this? Feb. Feb is a visible text. This is Feb. So this is an visible text for this drop down. What I can do, and select December. Okay. This December also you need to be passed visible text into string format. String format. So the same drop down, it can be select this by index, first, second one, and wait 2 seconds, and then it selects the seventh option, July, and then it waits 2 seconds, then it will select this. Let's run this. this dropdown is not able to find out because see, after clicking on this new account, before loading itself, it is throwing an error because it's getting some time to be loaded. So what I'll do, I'll give the simplicity way. Don't worry, I'll explain what is it. A later point. Driver dot manage time unit dot seconds. Is mine. It is selected three values. I'll execute once again. I'll also increase the time here to 4 seconds. 4 seconds. Okay. So that it can be visible for us. So first it is going to be select the index by index one value. March, it's selected, and then it is going to be select July, yes, and then December. So here you may have a question like, we need to be select with this three methods in a single time. No, it's like we need to use this one method which is which you are comfortable or which is application is comfortable. So if you want to select this March, you need to give a or select by value or select by visible text. Any one of method you can use to select any one of the value inside the select is a class inside the Selenium API. This class accepts this web element. So this web element I stored here driver.find element by xpath and this whatever, and then I'm using this object of this class to call the methods of select class. Okay, select by index, select by visible text, and select by value. So there are three methods to select a single dropdown as well as multi dropdown. Both it works for select by index and select by value, select by visible text. So also we have another method which is multiple. Is multiple is going to be written the multiple dropdown or not. That is Boolean value true or false. It is checking multiple dropdown or not with the is multiple method. So if it is multi dropdown, it returns true or otherwise it returns the false. So we can see here it returning the false because it's a single dropdown. It's a single dropdown. All right. So let's see now this multiple dropdown, multi dropdown or multiple dropdown. Okay. So I'm creating another class. Okay, this is a multi dropdown. You can select a multiple values inside the dropdown. Okay. So let's see. We'll use this and try to work on this. Let's see the HTML code which is inside this history page. So I'm writing this live code because whatever issues will get to write this code, and you can also understand that and how to solve them as well. You can understand. So select multi-size, multiple drop down. Size is 6. So you can find out 6 drop down values is there, and the values are with the alphabets only, and as well as visible text also is alphabets. So for working this, you don't have any select class attributes apart from the size is equal to 6. So what you can do, you can try to create a XPath with a parent element, this class render. div class render. I'm creating a XPath by giving the div tag and at s is equal to single quotes and whatever I copied it, I taken this. Okay. Then it's a select class inside this select tag. It is now there inside the particular dropdown. All right. I created a class, a main method. So single dropdown I have right. From here I'll copy this code. This is an WebDriver driver and system.set property driver. The Chrome driver path I'm giving here and driver is equal to new Chrome driver. Let's copy this URL. It's like dot get your URL. Copy this URL from here. Give it to this, and then driver dot this XPath. I'll store into this web element because select class accepts this web elements or parameter. We need to be pass the parameter of web element. So it's a multi dropdown, right? Multi dropdown. Here we can see now select class. I'll create a object for the select class. Select dropdown. What is asking it is the select class is asking to pass a element into the parameter. So what is the element and what element I want it to perform? It's a multi dropdown element. So I already stored into this particular variable and I am using this variable into this parameter. The web element. Now, since it is multi dropdown, I wanted to check the dropdown or not. Dropdown dot is multiple. What it is going to return? It's return the Boolean value. It returns the Boolean value. Boolean value. Now, so how to select this drop down? This select class object dot select by index. In a multi drop down as well, you can use this select by index. And then what I'll do, drop down dot select by value as well. So I'll use this value to select. Also, I'll do this drop select by visible text. Okay, take this visible text as well. This one. Okay. So let's see what it will happen. I'm executing now this code. Return this true. It's written the true. In the sense it's a multi-select drop down. What you have done, you created a code for selecting by index 2. 2 in the sense 0, 1, 2. This value is selected. Select by value, it's a fourth value selected. And then select by visible text, it is selected this particular value. Since it is in multiple drop down, multi drop down, so you have a option to select multiple values. At the same time, if you have a option to select multiple options, you also have to have this deselecting the value. The same opposite, you have drop down deselect. Deselect all is one click is going to be deselect everything inside that particular drop down. and deselect by index will do it. Okay, deselect by index is 2. I'm using it. Okay, then deselect by value, same order I'm doing it. Same value I'm going to be give here to deselect. Okay, and drop down dot deselect by visible text. Same value I'm giving it. Let's execute this now. Once it will select with the index by value by visible text. At the same time, it's deselect the same order. It's a deselect. So the deselection option will get into this multiple drop down, multi drop down only. You cannot get into the single drop down. Okay. If you select in a single drop down, if you select other value, the first value automatically deselects. All right. So now we know this, like is multiple is going to be written whether it is multi drop down or not. And we have 6 methods. It's a 7 methods we have seen. Select is a class. It accepts this web element, and boolean is like there are 7 methods we use now. Is multiple, select by index, select by value, select by visible text, deselect by index, deselect by value, deselect by visible text. 7 methods we use. In a maximum, in a real time, these methods only we'll use into. So let's see what are all other methods we have. Deselect all. Okay. So I'm not giving any index or anything. After selecting by index and value and visible text, I'm doing this 3 drop down. Deselect all. It's the 8th method. I used it. Deselect all also is a select class method, which is going, if it is multi drop down, if you selected multiple values, you can use deselect all method, where it is going to be deselect every option into that particular drop down. So I'll put into this comment and what all other methods we have. Let's see. Dot and deselect by index, value, visible text equals is a object class. Get all selected options. Get all selected options. It is going to be written the list of web element. You need to store into this list of web element. So let's store into the list web element. So all options. So the list is Java utils. Import from the Java util. So we have all selected options. How many we selected? We selected 3 options. So all 3 options need to be get into this variable. Then we can find out the size. So size is this variable dot size. The size is going to be written the integer selected size. Okay. So it is going to be written the selected size, and we want to print all the selected options, right? Selected options, right? Let's try to give this into the sysout. Will happen. Yesterday we have seen was returning all the web details. Okay, so here also I'll print the selected size also. Let's print now. Multi drop down, and it is having this all these elements into that. So this is one option selected. This is a second option selected, and we have third option as well. This. Okay, so let's copy this. Size is 3. These three values is selected. We are not able to find out right what is selected there. And then the size is 3. Size is 3, and it is multi-select is returning the true. It is multiple drop down. So if you want to know this exactly what value is selected, we can do what we can do. You have to. It's like when it is list, you need to loop it and get the index. Then to get text or get attribute value or whatever you can do it. So keep this for loop then. For loop, since it is list, we can iterate it. Then we can fetch the value. So options. So I'll take this integer I variable is equal to starts from the 0 and I less than and this size, whatever size I have, selected size, and I plus plus increment. So we have a session on for loop, and I'll give you very clear understanding on this. Okay, today using this for loop. So here sys out, inside the sys out. So what I'm doing, just whatever value I have here, all the values inside this, right? Dot get this index of I. I starts from the 0 and increases, and then do it. Dot get attribute, you can take it. The attribute is multi drop down T. You can print the value. You can print the attribute value. Attribute value is having this meaningful name. Meaningful name. See, this is value, right? It is having the meaningful name. Or get text also you can do it. Let's do this get text instead of get attribute. Let's see what it will. It has to be written the or print this visible text. See, it is printed all the visible text. If you use this get attribute value, it will not give you this all this option. It's only one word it is having inside the value, one word. So if you use this get attribute, that one word it will give you. Okay? The attribute is value. Need to pass this attribute in the sense property name. So get all selected options is going to be written the list of web elements. List of web elements. That list of web elements you need to be iterated. Then you can use this list of web element whatever you have stored dot get I, that is going to be get this index dot get attribute or get text you can use to print the values. So we have seen Get all selected options. What is the other? Get first selected option. Get first selected option. What is going to be written it? It's written the web element. Web element. It is going to be written the web element. Web element. So first print it. It's going to be written the web element. Web element you cannot understand completely, right? Let's see what it is going to be do. So whatever value it is selected into this multiple drop down, the first selected value, three selected values, right? It's going to be written this. Okay. And if it is tomorrow, if it is selected this one, also it returns this. Tomorrow it selected only this value, it returns it. So whatever value is selected in this drop down, the value, top selected. This is first selected, is going to be returned. Only one value it is going to be written, that is also first in a sequence, in a multiple drop down. Then first element, which is color. So to get this clear value, what is selected, what you need to do, get attribute or get text, you can do it. Get text, then visible text it will be printed. Is going to be written the string, and selected is equal to, it's going to be give you clear value what it is selected first inside that particular multi drop down. So what is selected first? This one. All other methods we have. Get first selected drop down, get options. Get options. It's going to be written the web element. What are the options is there inside that particular drop down? Going to be written the list of web elements. List of web elements. Going to be written the options list. What options? So if you inspect it here, see here, these are all options. Whatever options is there, it's going to be written it. The list you need to be loop it or iterate it. Okay. And what I'll do, just I'll print this all options list. It is the web element, right? Web element will not be able to understand us. It has to be written 6 web elements. Let's see how many it will return. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you wanted to have entire, the values, you can for loop in a is equal to 0, p less than dot options dot size. You can use the size method here itself, and I plus plus, and then out. In the sys out, you can use this options list dot get of I, the index, it going to be give you complete detailed values. 6 values it is going to be print here, right? Get options we have. All right. So get options is going to be written the every value inside this drop down. Whether it is selected or not selected is not matter about. All right. What is other method? get options, and get wrapped element. Going to be return the web element. And is there any other methods? Yeah, we have select by index that we know it, value we know it, we done it. ToString is different than this. Only one value wrapped element we have. Use this anytime. Let's see web element. Uh, we'll say print. It also printed this particular web element, and this will apply get text. What it is going to be? Return the string and text is equal to this element dot get. I'll print this to the sys out. It's printed every value. How it caught? I also don't even know this. So, but it is printed every value here. Wrapped element. Will did it? I think here. It's a giving uh, select entire select. What is the methods we have inside the select class? Let's see the summarize the things. Select by index, select by value. Is multiple is one method. Okay, let's dip into this notepad. Okay, is select. Sorry, is multiple is one method. And another is select by index, select by value, select by visible text is. There are three methods out, and you can deselect it, which you have selected. So another three methods you have, and you have another method is deselect all. You have another method called get selected. First selected option, then get options, and also you have get wrapped element. 6, 10, 11 methods.